but is it possible that this is gonna be like the next Fortnite? Like, is that a possibility for this game right now?
I released a State of the Game Palworld as a historical marker because I was like, where does this fall? Is this just the big flavor of the month? And that's going to depend on the content. I think financially, they've got the bandwidth now to really kind of like lean in. But the game,
Pokemon Star Citizen.
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be that MMO, but like they're teaming up with Xbox now. They've gotten a lot of attention, and it doesn't mean that it's going to have to maintain like a crazy high level player base concurrent. But I do think that we could see because imagine you bring in new pals, you bring in new areas, all of that stuff is going to be kind of something that really drives people back to the game.
As Master Agent said, I don't think they've actually got paid yet because if I'm rightly, Steam actually only pays you once a month.
Okay, well, I mean, they're not going to go bankrupt.
Like they've got bank on the way.
They got a big payday on the way. Even having it on Game Pass and playing it on Xbox, I also went ahead and purchased it because I was like, this game has earned my money, and I'm really happy to be a supporter of it. I can't wait to see how it, in a weird way, I don't have another word, evolves. You know, it's like, how does this game, grow and continue from here? And so, I do start to think that, Kirk. I do start to think that while I don't know if it will hit, Fortnite, eras, like I don't know if there's going to be a ninja of Palworld, kind of content creator out there, but
there doesn't need to be. I mean, you've got like Moist Critical on it. You've got so many popular streamers on it right now.
I don't think you'll hit Fortnite levels just because the Fortnite game has the benefit of being free to play. Free to play will always, if it does well, will always do a little bit better than buy to play.
Yeah,
because anyone can jump in for no cost. And I know it's on Game Pass, but that's still a subscription cost that you have to pay beforehand. So
okay,
but
fair point.
Also I think Fortnite just hit a specific time when there wasn't really that many games as a service titles, and they took years to become what it is.
And it also kind of hit. Success. It also hit at a really good time in terms of the YouTube algorithm, because you had like Logan Paul going out doing crazy stuff out there in the world, and that made YouTube make a shift. And so even Fortnite also was then algorithmically incentivized because people were really excited about PUBG, but because of its more realistic visual nature, the YouTube algorithm started favoring Fortnite because of that, because of other actors on the platform and some attention that they were getting. It's absolutely insane how that kind of just popped off and continued to pop off. It's so rare that a game does that, though. And it's interesting because we judge all games based off of that fact. We always say oh, game's dead. It's been a month. It's like most games, they pop in, they say hello. We all say, hey, we played you. And then we said, bye. It's a rare exception that a game month over month continues to have that zeitgeist within the gaming community.
Right, but the problem is that that's an expectation of the suits that are coordinating these games to be made, orchestrated these games to be made. So you have something like a Multiverses or a Rumbleverse or Knockout City that shuts down because it's like, oh, you didn't become the next Apex. Yeah, no, duh.
Yeah.
Being
I will say, did you hear
Fall
about
Guys is an achievement, in and of itself to blow up the way that Fall Guys did for just a month, or Among Us.
Yeah.
These games don't have to stick around forever to be successful. Like,
if I sell 1 million copies of the game I'm making, that would be mind freaking blowing. I'm like, if I could sell 10,000 copies of this game, this is what I want. This is what I'm shooting for. But man, to say this level, and you're exactly right. It's interesting because it's really successes. What did you define it as? And so I think they probably had I don't know what their expectations were, but clearly they knocked it out of the park. And I think it's something that people should be paying attention to. So, I'm going to keep talking about it as long as I keep playing it. I think that's going to be my logic there. Go ahead.
I think it was Rumbleverse. I'm gonna have to look into it more, but they turned the servers down recently. I think it was they did the servers, but they actually made it so that people can do private servers. They actually sent out they gave out the so people can make their own servers for the game.
That's nice.
I think it was Rumbleverse, but I just remember that one of the games of the service games that ended recently did something like that, which I thought was pretty cool.
Avengers as well, although I think that game is still up server side, but like they basically cut out all of the like always online functionality and made it to where people can just play it like on their own with their group of Avengers. So yeah, hopefully we see more game devs doing stuff like that.
Knockout City, I think it was. I think Knockout City also is ending and then promising a
That's
PC.
Cool because I never got to play that game, and yeah, so I would like to.
Video game preservation, especially with these kind of online games, is so hard. And when a company does something like that, I get it. You know, enough people aren't playing it. Servers cost money. Like we don't have endless amounts of that. Like okay, but to say, hey, guess what? We're not going on. Here's the source code so people can go and host it themselves for the community that wants to be able to play it. Like we see this happen a lot with MMOs, like WildStar is fan developed and things going on over there. So it's like I'm very curious to see how that project ends up ending up. Now, any other thoughts on kind of what's been going on currently this week before we jump into our Grand Blue discussion?
Yes.
Master Agent Miyazaki brought up the fact the Yakuza drama that happened recently. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth came out a couple of days ago, I think, in early access.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you pay extra, you won't have access to New Game Plus because it's actually DLC. Thoughts on that?
Paid DLC for New Game Plus. I would prefer like just one price, right? Like I think ultimately that's one of the frustrations with microtransactions. But paid DLC. So it's like, here's our game. You can play it. You can enjoy it. We're going to add some DLC that adds New Game Plus. I really hope that doesn't become a thing.
I will add it is available in the deluxe and ultimate editions for free.
Well, because that it would include,
then you have to pay.
Paying for it. Yeah.
That means to me, that just says that the price of video games isn't $70. It's whatever what gets you all the content. That's the price of the game. And the starter edition is a certain price. So I don't know. I hope that doesn't become a thing. I like New Game Plus, and I think that adds a lot to replay without the need for DLC. But what do you guys think?
I sent you an article, Brian, about that game selling better than any of the other Yakuza games. So you might want to read over that, and we can cover that too as part of the gaming news. But as far as the New Game Plus thing, I don't know. I'm gonna have to dive into this game and play it, which Brian, that I definitely intend on doing with this franchise.
Yeah.
With as much as I liked the prequel to this game. What I know is that I haven't played New Game Plus in Like a Dragon, the first one, but what I know is that there's something after you finish the campaign called Premium Adventure, and Premium Adventure is just like continuing your journey after you beat the game. So Premium Adventure in this game is not locked in any way. So like after you finish the campaign, you'll be able to keep building your Animal Crossing island and keep doing all the side quests that you want to do, keep leveling up your character, keep leveling up your jobs and your abilities and things like that with the like save file that you have. The only thing that they're locking behind this extra cost is just replaying the story again with the character that you already have, which I'm like I don't love that. I guess I'm like giving them a pass because I think that their games are so freaking good. But I guess it's like if it was both, like if the game just ended and then you could, because that's usually what like New Game Plus I feel like is for, is like when you beat a game and then that's the end of the game and then you like want to keep playing. So this is like not an instance of that. Like there's still the end game, like the whole end game is available for without any type of paywall,
right?
And like in the last game, like there's literally a like tower that you go up that has like 10 levels or whatever,